Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Bad news for Donald Trump, your president. Yeah, man. Yeah, fam. Countries around the world are second guessing and preparing to rip up the tariffs agreements they signed with him, all because the Supreme Court said those tariffs are illegal. Can't do that. You don't have the right. I love it, man. I love it because it it makes Trump uncomfortable. He's hot. He's been having things his way. Supreme Court, they bought and paid for. He got him in his pocket, so he's been able to do anything that he wants to do. But here's the thing about the Supreme Court, though: you can't trust them because they'll go back. All they do, all Trump have to do is go back in and rewrite something and woo, and then present it this way, and boom, next thing you know, they approve it, and he gets exactly what he wants because, the Supreme Court is a Republican Supreme Court stacked, by Trump in his first term. So, they gonna do what they do. The Supreme Court gonna Supreme Court, especially when you got Clarence Uncle Thomas over there, man. He gonna do exactly what them people tell him to do. Good Lord. And he did get caught up in some a money situation where he was taking money illegally, but nothing ever became of that. I wonder why. Justice Department didn't investigate. I don't think. I did. I guess they did. He ain't going to jail. I guess he ain't going to jail. Everybody else got to go to jail though. But I guess when you on the inside, man, you part of the clique. But Trump is hot, man. He's hot about those tariffs. He been calling the Supreme Court dumb. He said, yeah, they dumb. So first of all, you got Japan and South Korea, who's prepared to rip up the agreements. And then you have these other countries, so many other countries that sign those agreements. God, boy, I can't believe that. Well, I guess I can, because these countries are ran by human beings. And there's a lot of coward human beings in power positions, There's a lot of cowards in power positions. You even see them as cops. If they end up doing something and they end up, where the people who they send to jail ends up, man, they be scared to death. They got to put them in protective custody because they cannot survive on the yard. They be scared to death. So you got Canada and Mexico, who signed the free trade agreement. You got Australia, Singapore, South Korea. I spoke of South Korea. Several Central and South America and Middle East countries. So Middle Eastern countries. So he got a lot of people on board, but it seemed like to me, just like when you're dealing with a bully. Let's take Friday, when Debo was going around bullying everybody. All it took was Ice Cube to put an ass whooping on Debo, and the next thing you know, but it was DJ Pooh. I forgot the role that he played, but DJ Pooh punched him and took. I think he kicked him. Did he kick him or punch him? Somebody kicked him. Somebody punched him, and DJ Pooh snatched the chain and took off. So all it takes is one person to bring down the bully, and then people realize the bully ain't all that bully. The bully ain't all that bad. He ain't that dude that everybody think he is. This is why I've never bowed down to bullies. I've always fought bullies, even when I was afraid. Yeah, growing up, man, people thought I was crazy. They thought I was crazy because I would fight anybody and not just fight them, but win. They thought I was crazy. And a lot of people just thought I was brave. It wasn't that I was just brave. It was just that I didn't want to lose. I didn't like being embarrassed. And I think if you allow somebody to bully you, That's embarrassing. And I couldn't deal with that. Those trade deals should be voided. All of them. All of those trade deals that were signed by the declining states of America should be voided. Yeah, should be voided. In 1 year, Trump has done more to set America back than the last 20 presidents combined. He really has. I know some of y'all can't see that because y'all really ain't involved, in the process like you want to act like you are when you're online talking. But Trump has set America back. But they say ignorance is bliss. So a lot of people, they don't really see it because they're really not involved. They've never really been involved like that. But this dude destroys everything he touches. Everything he touches. So one of these days, Trump gonna get that wake-up call. I'm telling you, there's no way possible you can do all the stuff that he's doing and just ride off into the sunset. I know it seems like unlikely right now for a lot of us. It seems unlikely, especially after he got 34 felonies, man, and they couldn't put him in jail. They wouldn't lock him up. They refused to lock him up. Like, what's the sense? Why spend all that money? Why spend all that taxpayer money? Why do the whole dog and pony show? To me, it's embarrassing. You may as well just not prosecute him if you're going to convict him of 34 felonies and not make him spend 1 day in jail. You may as well, you look better not prosecuting him. You look weak when you prosecute him and he don't go to jail. You prosecute him and the judge gives him instructions and he defies those instructions on a daily basis. And he not only defied those instructions, he criticized the judge, openly criticized the judge and disparaged the judge on a daily basis. And he don't get held in contempt of court. It makes other people look at it like, oh, so that's how it goes. So they're really not really concerned about justice like they say they are. Because it just depends on who you are, they want justice. Just depends on who you are. They're serious about justice. It all just depends on who you are. Depends on who you are and what you can do for them, what side of the aisle you're on. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. Those tariffs resulted in nothing but higher prices for American consumers. When you look at those tariffs, a lot of people consider those tariffs to be controversial because even though Trump say that they were meant to protect American industries, they also created a ripple effect that hit customers, businesses, and global relationships. So you have to consider, was the steak worth the sizzle? You know what I'm saying? Was the steak worth the sizzle? I don't think so. You got high prices for Americans. You got retaliation from other countries because we raise tariffs. They say, okay, well, we're going to raise tariffs. Oh, you know what? We just ain't going to even sell to y'all. How about that? You got harm to U.S. manufacturers. You got trade war risk. You got inflation pressure. You got inflation pressure because that's happening right now. We're on the brink. We're actually in a recession. A lot of people can't really see it right now, but we're actually in a recession, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. Him imposing these tariffs is indicative of what leadership in America does constantly, and that's put a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Charging these other countries high tariffs, they ain't gonna do nothing but turn right back around and charge America high tariffs, or charge America higher fees for the products. Charge Americans higher fees for the products. They're going to charge higher for the product. So, and that fee gets passed down to U.S. consumers. So his supporters can argue all day about how the tariffs are going to bring back jobs and all of this, but these are short-term gains, right? Limited long-term gains. You dig what I'm saying? So Trump, they try to act like he's such a great businessman. He's really not a great businessman. What he is a great opportunist. He sees an opportunity. He gets other people to put up money. Other people put the plan together. Well, y'all got to work the plan out. Put it together. You know, who's going to put the money up? Okay, you put together. Hey, what's my cut? My cut, I need this amount. Get his cut. And he don't care what happens after that. He just makes sure he gets his cut, and then he's gone. He don't care if the business fails or not. He gets his cut, and then he's gone. Slap his name on something, gets a nice big fat check, and he's out of here. The dude is not a good business person. Some people can't see that because all they see is money. They see a person got a lot of money, and automatically, to them, it makes them a good business person. Somebody can have a lot of money by winning the lottery. Does that make them a good business person? No, it just means that they were lucky. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.